You were on what, a year ago, Tommy?
I guess it was like a year ago.
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit. Yeah, a year ago. Maybe a little bit longer than a year ago.
Yeah.
I don't know what episode it was. Let's say it was episode 88. Does that make sense?
Maybe.
Sure. Let's say 88 for the hell of it.
This will be 134.
Okay.
So yeah. So why don't we start by going around the table, and we'll start with you, Chris, and introduce
All right.
yourselves.
I'm Chris. So I do all the web stuff for Stay Fresh. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Website building.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ones and zeros.
Yeah. It's a lot of that stuff.
A lot of binary. Tommy.
I'm Tommy. Tommy Lincoln. I do all the design and illustration. That's it. I guess.
Jessica.
I'm Jess. I handle everything photography.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. One of the most talented photographers in Central New York.
Pew, pew, pew.
Gabe, what do you do?
Oh, Lord, if you figure it out, let me know. No, I'm just kidding. I'm Gabe Berry, and I'm the project manager for Stay Fresh.
Oh, cool.
That's my story. I'm sticking to it.
Nice.
I guess we could have all said our titles, but
I know, I
I
went for the title.
That's good. No, that was
I
short
follow
and
the
sweet.
rules.
Which one of you designed the Good Buddy label?
None of us.
No.
That designer
Is not around any longer.
could have hang.
I almost, I was like I was thinking, you can't tell it, but I did clean the table up a little bit. And,
We can
nice.
tell.
yeah, but I was like, I'm going to leave that bag out because they did this.
Oh, looks great.
Yeah,
And,
thanks.
yeah, no, we've had a couple different designers through
Yeah.
our time in the last 8 years that have helped us out with things. And yeah, she's not with us anymore. She's going to grad school. now,
Oh,
so,
nice.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, tell me a little bit about how long all of you have been at Stay Fresh. Tommy's been there the longest.
I've been there a while.
Chris, how long have you been there?
I don't know. What has it been? 4 or 5 years? Tommy and I have been working together in like different capacities for I guess about 5 years.
Nice.
Yeah.
Jess, you're from Oklahoma, right?
I am from Oklahoma. I moved here 4 years ago.
Okay.
So I've been, yeah.
Where at in Oklahoma are you from?
I'm from Oklahoma City.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've been to Yukon a few times. I think we've
Oh.
talked about that. Maybe
Yeah.
Yukon, birthplace of Garth Brooks.
Yes.
Ooh.
Yep.
Yukon's, it's a fun place.
Yeah. How long have you been there, Gabe?
I have been with the shop for 1 year and 1 month, almost
Wow.
like to the day.
Nice.
I'm from Syracuse. I'm from here. I spent the last better half of about 12 years in the craft beer industry.
Okay.
I am drinking a PBR in this moment with pride, and I'm loving it. I was gone for about 10 years and came back during the pandemic, and I could not have been more lucky and more happy to have ended up in this role here and working with Tommy and this team.
And you used to work at the Brooklyn Brewery?
I did.
Okay.
I did. Yeah.
Yeah.
Those are some good peeps.
Yeah.
Hanging out with Steve Hindy and Garrett Oliver will get you going where you need to go in the craft beer
Yeah.
industry.
That's cool. Yeah. So I was looking at some of your work last night.
Oh,
Cool.
Yeah. Did you guys do everything for Beacon Skiff in 1911? Is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So did you do the website?
Yeah.
I like that website.
All
I was
right.
looking at it
All right.
last night. Yeah. So I mean, you guys have like some pretty prestigious clients, and usually I tell people, if they're looking for something cool or interesting in pretty much any of the design space, to contact Stay Fresh. I don't know if they do
I
or
see you
not.
tagging us out there on
Yeah.
social media. Yeah,
Oh,
thanks.
Trying to.
Thanks.
Yeah. So one thing that we did, and I think we'll probably start off with this. One thing that we did was we played a game in the last podcast with the people from Trading Up. And I give you a situation, and you answer it to the best of your ability.
Collectively.
Yeah.
Okay.
One word at a time.
You all huddle together. and
Cool.
And really, the good news is there aren't any wrong answers for this, so that's
Oh,
good.
Okay,
good.
Maybe that could be the interesting part for your episode. You give us the right and the wrong answer, then I have to decide which one is right and which one is wrong.
Which one? Yes. Yeah.
All right. So is everybody ready?
Yes.
Okay. If you win this game, you get a 4-pack of beer to take with you.
Amazing.
So,
Sick.
Okay.
yeah. All right. So scenario one: I am a bank teller. Work at a local bank, and I've been there for 5 years. And I love cooking for my family at home. And I make these really amazing rice balls. Let's say I make rice balls. I make these really delicious rice balls and this dipping sauce to go along with it. And
What's the dipping sauce?
I can't say it's my special
Oh.
secret, but it's really good. And my siblings tell me that it's delicious, and my wife tells me it's absolutely amazing, and I should open up a restaurant one day. And I've always just enjoyed cooking. I love the fact that people love eating these rice balls and this dipping sauce that I make. So I'm thinking about quitting my job and mortgaging my house and going to open up my first restaurant, focusing on just making and selling rice balls
Yeah.
and dipping sauces. Okay. So that's a scenario. Everybody got it?
Yeah.
Sounds pretty solid, right?
yeah.
It's very solid.
Heard.
I should also add that I don't have any experience in running a business or anything like that.
Sure.
Okay. No marketing background, no web, nothing.
Yeah.
But you make rice balls with a
Yeah.
dipping sauce.
Exactly, and they're good. I don't know what I'm
They
gonna.
sound good.
Yeah, I don't know what I'm gonna call them yet, but that's where you all come in. So I call up Stay Fresh Design and I say, "All right, what should I do?" And go.
Calls back in 2023.
Serve them to somebody not in the family
Yeah.
first.
Well, cousins. Well, I guess that's in the family, but yeah, cousins and their friends have had them and they like them.
Okay. Yeah. Someone who's not your friend, maybe. First.
Okay.
So,
Just to get like a clear idea if you're doing something good.
Okay. All right. So test the market.
Yeah.
yeah. And you're calling us for like, what would you call us for? Like, hey, what's up, rice ball?
Like, are we getting some rice balls out of
Are you
this?
coming in with
or
rice balls to say, hey, like, I
Yeah.
have the rice balls? Are you just calling us like, hey, what do you guys offer? Do we just tell you
Yes.
what we offer?
So I put on my Facebook page
Sure.
that I was going to open up a restaurant. That I was finally going to follow my dream and open up Rice Ball Restaurant. I don't have the name yet.
Yeah.
And someone commented, I think Anthony Tringale commented and tagged
I know Anthony.
Tommy
Yes.
and said, "You have to talk to Tommy about everything you need to know, marketing, design, the whole nine."
So at this point, I would tell you, because of like the way that we operate, I would say, all right, well, why don't you come in, bring some rice balls with you, come in,
Okay.
and let's talk about your overall plan and like where you're gonna go, and we would kind of assess from there, like, if you tell us you're coming in, like, I got this loan, I've got the space, we're going into the space. Right now, the kitchen's being built out. There's a hood going in. The hood is so much money because the hoods are so much money.
Yeah.
That type of stuff. So
Right.
we would talk you through all that stuff to make sure that like you were legit and like
Okay.
you weren't just a rice ball off the street. So and then we would say, aside from the rice balls, like I would start kind of understanding like your passion for the balls.
Okay.
And go from there and like kind of start picking your brain apart from that angle to kind of understand like where you're really headed for these rice balls and where you
Yeah.
want where your vision is for them. If it's a larger scale spot, if it's just a truck that you're cruising around in,
I didn't think about a truck.
right? That's what I'm saying. And you only have the rice balls, which are handheld food, which works good at festivals.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So maybe I shouldn't open a restaurant. Maybe I should just open up a food truck.
you could open up a food truck.
Okay.
And these are things that we would talk through anybody that comes into the shop.
Okay.
And say, like, have you thought about these other venues? Because a lot of times people come in and they haven't. They
Yeah.
just thought about their cast iron skillet that they got.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I mean, I will say I know that these are going to be the best rice balls that anybody in Central New York has ever
They
had.
taste great. We're having them now, and the dipping sauce is intriguing.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the special secret dipping sauce is what I call it right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so I need to figure out like what I'm gonna like how the business is gonna look, and go from there with it, basically. And then let's say that I have it locked down. Okay, you've talked me into it. They're handheld. They should be at festivals, and so I'm gonna do a food truck
Yeah.
now.
And because people, aside from this, like people have like come to us and said like, "Oh, I'm about to open up a restaurant. I got this awesome building. It's super cool." And I'm like, "Cool. this is, have you thought about these other things? And they're like, no. And then they disappear for like 4 or 5 months.
Mhm.
And then they come back and they're like, hey,
I thought about this.
I've thought about this. We're going to do this instead.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So people have come in and this has happened before.
If I could chime in on that, I think that's one of the powerful things about what the Stay Fresh Design Shop does, and kind of the versatility of not only being, a gallery that has a show once a month of a variety of different artists that are local artists, folks from out of town, but then we are also a tight-knit group of creatives that can hang with other folks of that matter and be like, yo, these are some things that you haven't thought of before, because when we get into our enclosed spaces, sometimes we don't have safe spaces where we can get other ideas from other people. And restaurant owners and bar owners are oftentimes like, some of my best friends are single serving creative people in one mindset, and when we can offer kind of like an ad hoc, as needed, self-curated marketing department for you as on the go, we see some pretty cool like responses to that.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, it's there's a lot to it. So let's go down a little bit more of a rabbit trail with let's see, what should I name this rice ball factory? Rice balls with an exclamation point. That's the name I chose.
I'm not gonna lie, I just love it.
You guys love it? Should it be with a Z?
No.
Okay, no Z.
Z.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're not from like Jersey Shore.
I don't know, rice balls.
That's like just the S.
Okay.
With the exclamation mark. It's kind of like cheese balls, so I would kind of steer away from any branding that would look like any kind of cheese ball stuff, because you want to look like rice balls.
Okay. All right. So I was looking online. I was Googling how to start a website, and the first thing that popped up was a free trial with Wix. So my question for you is, should I just create that? Because what's available right now is www.riceballs with an S .org /wixfreesites.com. So should I go that route, or should I go a different route for my website?
Well,
I like that there was a .org in there.
yeah, I mean,
That was in there. That was
yeah, it sounds that sounds reasonable, but I don't know. I'd say for us, it's kind of like, depending on what your budget is and where you're at, like that may be the perfect thing. Like you should just get something up.
Okay.
And then, like, usually people come to us when they want something that they can't really get through a site like Wix or Squarespace or something like that. They need more customization, or they want something special that they can't get through this like template that they're buying from somebody else.
Okay.
But
No,
yeah,
to be honest, like we have a lot on our plate. We don't dive into Wix.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't even know how to use it.
I don't even know how to get into Wix. Right? Like it
That's a
sounds
good
like
thing,
something
yeah.
out of the labyrinth. I don't know where we're going with that. So, but I think people out there use those things for their like car clubs or their like church groups, and I think that's fine for them because it works and that's what they can do. But anybody, even if they're using Wix, should look into having like a specific domain for their company. So you have riceballs.org/wix.com / my cousin's brother .html.
I own that.
You own that.
Yeah, that URL.
So I mean that's fine. You own that. But you should also own like Cheeseballs SYR, or maybe Cheeseballs New York, or
I would
not
probably
Cheeseballs,
rice balls. Yeah,
Oh, it should be rice
just
balls.
keep it to the rice balls.
Damn you, PBR. So it should be like rice balls or something to that
Yeah.
nature.
Okay.
And nowadays they offer a lot of other domains out there, like Stay Fresh. We have a .design, so like a .com.
Might be able to get rice.balls.
There might be a
Yeah,
.balls.
might.
riceballs.cheeseballs.org.
Rice.balls, and there's .coffees out there if you're opening a coffee shop.
Huh.
There's
Wow.
.food.
Yeah.
There's
There's options.
dot. So you can get a lot of different things,
Yeah.
and those things work well when you start to brand something, because Stay Fresh .design, you kind of know what you're getting into right off the bat, rather than a .com. StayFresh.com, it could be something about like Ziploc bags or something. you know?
Yeah.
But with the .design, people know where they're coming, kind of,
Yeah. This is really good information. I'm going to get rid of the one with my cousin's name in it. And
Yeah.
and see if there's a rice dot balls out there.
Yeah, look at
There's
that.
got to be a rice dot balls.
There's got to be a rice dot balls. I wonder. The game should have included me looking these websites up. Okay, so I've got the name down. You've talked me out of the Z. Okay, so we're gonna go with the S. Rice balls, and I've got my domain name, and still don't know if I'm doing Wix or not. But if I need something special, like a way for a customer to customize their rice balls online, I know I can come to you off of the website.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so I'm gonna be opening up 2 weeks from today. All right. I have my menu locked in. I've got 3 different kinds of rice balls and 3 different kinds of dipping sauces.
Nice.
And I am on a food truck, because you're right, it should be at festivals.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think I saw it parked out there. Is that Airstream out there? With
Yes.
the nice, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
it's
was
got the
it.
neon sign on the top of it.
Yeah.
You went all out with that.
Yeah.
I like that.
Like I said, I quit my job and mortgaged my house, so I've got lots of money
Yeah.
and nowhere to spend it.
It's great.
Except for on rice balls.
Airstream is the way to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's $150,000. Actually,
Wow.
you know Airstreams are very expensive.
Dude,
Yeah, they are.
if I had the money, man.
Really?
I'd buy one. A little one. Just a little guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was just, I found out it's a scam, but I was on Facebook and somebody was Marketplace. Someone had one for sale for like $1,000, like a tiny one,
Yep.
like the smallest one.
Yep.
I'm
And I'm
not
like,
sure.
there's no way this is
Happens all the time to me too.
real. Yeah.
Yeah.
I messaged and it was like, I'm at work, please email this thing.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, there's no way.
The moment
Somebody got
passed.
these chairs.
Yeah. Yeah. Somebody else snagged it. Maybe a real rice balls company. But anyways, for this game, let's say that my Airstream is parked out there.
Yeah.
It's a blank canvas.
Yep.
I've got, it's equipped inside. We'll go with that far because I'm open in a couple weeks, so it has
Sure.
to be. I haven't started my social media stuff yet, though. And so far, the only pictures, ready, Jess? It's coming to you. So far, the only pictures that I have made, that I have, are ones that I took on my iPhone 4
Okay.
that has a broken screen.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh.
And I think they look great. But I'm just wondering, how do I really, I've got I've been talked out of the cousin web domain, right? I have rice.balls now. I have the food truck and all that kind of stuff. I'm going to come back to you for the customized website.
Yeah.
But now I need to tell people and show people how great my food is. So should I just keep taking pictures with my iPhone 4 with the cracked screen, or?
I mean, probably not. You could, if that's all that you'd have to work with. But I feel like the next step, maybe have some of your friends take photos with if you're gonna go
Okay.
with the iPhone vibe, but you maybe make it more interactive and have
People eating the food.
people, get point of
Okay.
view and
Yeah.
selfies. If you're gonna stick with the iPhone photography,
Okay.
maybe include some people in it, make it feel
Yeah.
Throwing rice balls in your friend's mouth.
yeah.
That
Okay.
could be a boomerang. Like,
Oh, that's a good one.
Recreate the scene in Hook where they food fight for
Absolutely.
rice
Oh,
balls
wow.
as the main
Yep.
thing.
Yes.
When you Jess sets up a lot of lifestyle shoots sometimes.
Okay.
Where maybe you take the menu outside of where it is.
Yeah.
So hook your rice balls into the equation.
Oh, that's a good
.com.
one. Yeah, .com.
yeah.
/cousin.
Sorry, Jess.
If
Back
you-
to you.
no. I think that if you have the budget for professional photography, then that's always probably your best bet, because food photography is a little tricky, and if your color balance isn't correct, then your food's gonna look unappetizing.
Okay.
Color's the most important part, I think, of food photography. If you don't want your rice to look green if it's not green,
Well, you're giving away my secrets on my special sauce
Okay.
with the color. So.
Sorry.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I've been taking my pictures either at midnight in my dark kitchen or at 2 p.m. in the bright sunlight outside.
I would recommend
okay?
a window. If you can get a
Okay.
window, that'll
Okay.
help.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe not direct
Okay.
overhead.
Okay.
Mid-light.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right. And what else should I know? Now I kind of have an idea of how to take a better picture of my food and I have an idea for a video. I'm gonna go with the Captain Hook thing.
Oh,
And I know I'm not doing the Z, and I know I'm not using the .org/cousin website. So what else should I know when it comes to these things? Like my logo, for example, I've created using Canva.com, and I did find a picture of a rice ball on there already.
Yeah.
That I got to use.
Does it look like your rice balls?
No, but you could tell it was rice in a circle. So
A circle.
I think people figure it out, right?
Well, it wasn't like a witch ring, like a circle, like spirits keep out. One like you sure it wasn't that one of those? You sure it was a rice ball?
How did I think about that? I don't know. It had things that looked like rice and it was in a circle.
Yeah.
So do you think I could just use that and then just put rice balls through it and people would?
I mean, no, that's not gonna attract people.
Oh,
like,
shoot.
Yeah, no. I mean, what people want now are that they want to be in front of or holding in their hand something that looks cool that they can take a picture of and share it with
Okay.
to millions of people on Instagram that follow them.
Yeah.
So for the logos, it should be a logo that it represents your rice balls
Okay.
and you, because it's you. You're putting you into these balls, so
Mhm.
it should be representative of you.
Yeah.
That's one thing that when you're out there searching for a company to help you with branding, they're going to want to know about your business and your food, which is important.
Mhm.
But like the key is always knowing about the person.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, everybody, I'm excited to say that you just passed the first round of our little contest. So
Nice.
good job.
All right.
And those were all the correct answers, right? Those weren't the wrong answers because remember we were going to do.
I think we did
there
good.
was
Those are
definitely
okay.
wrong answers that were applicable as the project manager chiming in. Just kidding.
All right. Well, thank you so much. That was you're advancing to the second round.
Great.
So,
What's round two?
you just have to shotgun that beer, and then we'll move on to it. I hear a lot. Like a common thing that I hear is people who it's like kind of like that. It's oh, we're gonna open this restaurant. It's gonna be so successful, and we're gonna do this, and I make great food. My family tells me I make great food, but that's it. They might make great food, but that's the extent of their
Who knows?
knowledge
Sure.
when it comes to it. Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of people say they make great tacos.
And some of them don't.
They don't.
Some
They
of them
don't.
really don't. Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you all work mostly? Is there one industry that you all work the most in, like food or lifestyle or entertainment?
Do we do any lifestyle?
I don't know. Do we?
We do lifestyle within.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
designing some
It's all
toys right
lifestyle
now.
stuff, right?
That's kind of lifestyle.
Okay.
Design
Within
some
it.
what?
Well,
Toys?
so
We're in the
all
lifestyle.
right. I feel like I'll take this one, guys. I come strictly from a food and beverage background, and so
Yeah.
like what has been really fun in walking into working with this team is that there are some things that we are heavy hitters in the food and beverage industry, looking at clients like 1911, Beacon Skiff, that kind of that entity in itself is both a bar, an events venue, a cool, fun, the CBD, and just like there's a lot that happens
Yeah.
within that. But then we have clients like Kevin Smith, the Jay and Bob world, where I kept saying when we first started working with them, I was like, I can't eat or drink this, and it was like hard for me to like think about that as a creative, like switching. So we work with things that you can eat and drink. We work with comedians. We work with our homies is a thing that we say also, and that we work with people that do cool things that we want to support that. So it's of course the beverage industry and the restaurant industry. But it's a little bit more than that. How'd I do, Tommy?
I think it was great.
Okay.
Yeah, I think in Syracuse, I think we handle a lot of food and beverage stuff because that's what people have come to us for, and we like helping out people starting their own stuff.
Yeah.
But outside of that, yeah, I think media companies that are creating content, we help out a lot of them.
Yeah.
Figuring out platforms, figuring out their web presences, and reining in their brands and their photography
Yeah.
and their organization too. Like a lot of times we'll get with clients that don't know what to do on their side, and when the game presents how we kind of like bring somebody in to pick their photos, like how to choose photos or any of that stuff in house, a lot of times clients look at that and they're like, oh, maybe, we could get organized on our side too, just like this. And so we're kind of dropping knowledge all around on them.
And it's you just threw me a punch for what I wanted to say. It goes down to education. My role with Brooklyn Brewery was a beer educator. I was the global education manager, teaching a lot of restaurant and bar owners about beer, ways to talk about it. And just like what Tommy was saying in the beginning about for somebody's rice balls. Sorry, we present sorry, I'm sorry about that. We present different opportunities and. About things that your business might be a better business model for, or maybe things you didn't think about. And I think the average consumer, or the average restaurateur, the average person sometimes doesn't necessarily see all the options that they have out there. And so we see ourselves as like shepherds of marketing, shepherds of education about the options that you have out there in the creative world. Because this is also new in a lot of ways too.
Yeah.
It's all technology has changed the game so much. And we're all on the latter side of the millennial era. So we all need a little help from some Tommy Lincolns out there.
All right. Well, we're moving on to round 2, everybody.
Okay.
You ready for this?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Round 2 is a lot very similar to round 1. Now I make great arancini, which is an Italian rice ball. What is my business going to be? Well, I'll tell you what. The business will be taco stand.
Okay.
I'm a taco stand.
Jess is in.
I own a taco stand, and I opened up during the pandemic, and I'm doing okay. I've paying myself a little bit of money each week, and that's great. And people seem to like my tacos, but now I have an opportunity to go to a second location in Rochester. And are you from Rochester?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
So I have an opportunity to go into Rochester, and I feel like I need to just up my game, right? So far I have my niece who's doing my pictures, and she's using an iPhone 10, so it's not an
It's
iPhone
better
4.
than iPhone 4.
Right, yeah. And it's not in direct sunlight, in midday, and it's not in a dark kitchen either. So
Great.
they look good, and I've got 700 followers on Instagram, and
It's
yeah,
amazing.
right. But now I want to get away from my logo I made on Canva and of the taco with a smiley face, and I want to get away from tacosaregood.org/cousins website.
Yeah.
And I want people to have more of a real business, big brand experience. Okay. So, what is the one area that you think I should focus on first? Should I focus on just overall image, changing my logo, making things seem like it's more professional? Should I focus on the website first? Should I focus on changing
Can I ask
photography?
a question, a context question?
Yeah.
So you had been predominantly based in Syracuse, and then you're moving out to Rochester.
Yes.
Okay. You have no familial connection to Rochester, as you're strictly a Syracuse guy?
No, that's correct.
Okay.
So what happened is my cousin's college roommate is a real estate agent in Rochester, and Taco Bell went out of business, and he thought that I would be the perfect fit for it because he's had my tacos before, and he said that they were the best he's ever had.
Oh, wow.
Do you make your own tortillas?
What?
Do you make your own tortillas?
I don't think you can make your own. I think you can only buy those.
No, you can.
No, I'm pretty sure you can only buy those, guys.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure you can't make
Okay.
your own tortillas. That's nonsense. That's
Okay.
crazy talk. Do I make my own pizza? I mean, come on,
Okay.
tortillas.
Okay.
He's a rice ball guy. Come on now.
You're right.
Yeah.
That's right. I went from rice balls with a Z. I was that person. to
Right.
now.
I'm sorry. He's a
Tacos
taco
with a Z.
Do you
guy.
have a brick and mortar location in Syracuse, or are you just going out to Rochester to start your first brick and mortar?
I have a brick and mortar in Syracuse now that's been open for a year and a half.
Oh, okay.
We had a lot less questions in round one. I just want to point out.
You're getting the hang of the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how's your website perform that you have now for your restaurant?
What do you mean? Do people go to it?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, millions.
People order on it?
No, they can't order on it,
No.
but they go there and they see my picture, and then I put my story of how I got
Sure.
involved in the taco game.
And what's the name of your taco business?
That's a good question. The name of my taco business is Salt City Tacos.
Oh.
That's the name of. Yes, that's a good one.
Wow.
That's a good one,
It is.
right?
It's really.
Salt City
It'll
Tacos.
go over great in Rochester.
Hey,
Yeah, it would go good in Rochester.
that's the
I haven't
answer.
heard anything Salt City in Syracuse
Yeah.
before, so
Right.
I think Salt City
City
tacos.
Yeah. Okay, I'll take this one, guys.
Okay.
So no, in all seriousness though, and I'm joking, they were all saying good things. I think when you like speaking from Brooklyn, which was a small business based in Brooklyn, and then became quite a large global brand.
Yeah.
Wherever you're going, whether it is an hour away from where you are, it's really important to address the market where you're at and make sure that you don't rock up and just be like, I know the most about tacos, y'all. Because, like, you don't know what Rochester knows about tacos. And, like, there's probably a lot of homies that have been making tacos in Rochester for a while that have a pretty...
Yeah, Nemo's.
Yeah, see, this dude knows. I don't really know because I'm a Syracuse chick. I don't know about the Rochester tacos, but they do. And so, like, whether or not you're the best taco maker ever, making sure that you're obliging where the taco aficionados of Rochester are at. Obviously, like, I'm sure these are the homies that you would want to make sure that your asset portfolio is ready to match those other taco aficionados of Rochester. But I think from a partnership, from a brand to brand marketing and from like a partnership perspective, making sure that on an internal perspective, you have connected with the community, the restaurateur community of Rochester, even before you look at your consumers. You should look at your consumers too, but like you want to make sure you're like that your community is welcoming you where you want to be welcomed.
Yeah. Okay. That's pretty interesting. Look at the other taco restaurants in the area. Well, I did. And trust me when I say that none of them can hold a candle to the tortillas I buy at Cisco. Okay. None of them.
Cool.
And all right, so now what? So now that I've looked at those competitors, and no, I will admit that even though I think my tacos are still, the best that exist in Rochester, and I've never tried any of the other tacos before, but I can just tell. You can just tell looking at their website and stuff. Ours are better. But I will admit that there are some cool, better pictures out there of tacos from some of these other places.
Yeah.
So I've done that. I've looked at other Instagram accounts, and listen, there's no way a restaurant has really 12,000 Instagram followers. They probably bought them, right?
Definitely.
So now what do I do?
So, you wanting to focus on your image, like your social media presence then?
Well, I know they taste great.
Uh-huh.
I mean, obviously, I'm making them. I've been successful over the last year and a half in the Salt City. And so, but, my niece, she does a good job of taking the pictures with her iPhone 10.
What kind of pictures are you taking right now?
Well, she uses portrait mode.
Yeah, but like, what are they? Is it just like
Top
plain
down.
taco?
Top down.
Yeah, sometimes it's just like the flat tortilla, and then like she takes it like that.
Okay.
Sometimes it's just like the burrito, because we do burritos as
Just
well.
on a plate by itself.
Yeah, well, wrapped in the foil,
Okay.
and showing how big it is by putting like a bottle of soda next to it.
Right.
So, the important shots that you have to have these
Okay.
days on Instagram. We're on Twitter too. I don't know if I mentioned that, but we're
Okay.
on Twitter. So yeah.
Well, I think that if you want to focus on, like, your social media presence and, like, you want to stand out from these other taco restaurants, you kind of have to develop a style that you stick with
Okay.
and become consistent in some of your... I mean, not everything has to be consistent, but you should have a little bit of consistency when you go look at your grid on Instagram. Like, it should flow nicely.
Okay.
And I think that the best way to do that is to kind of establish, like, what is the story, like, that you want to tell with your tacos? Like, what is... Because people can't taste the tacos through the photos. They can just see them.
Right.
And everybody knows what a taco looks like. They've seen a million, right?
Yeah.
So you need to, like, tell more of a story to create, like...
Okay. Yeah. All right. That makes sense. So like I should post like 3 tacos in a row, and then like 3 burritos, and then 3 quesadillas. Because I don't know if I told you, we also do quesadillas.
Oh, quesadillas. Too.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
We do it all.
Oh, okay.
If it can go on a tortilla, we do it. You know, here at Salt City Tacos.
Yeah.
Um,
One thing that could be cool is if you did some like photos of like Rochester stuff with your taco, or maybe your tacos at like a cool Rochester.
okay.
Yeah. One thing
Yeah.
that Jess was just recently in Florida, shooting 1911 in different scenarios within Florida because they're in Florida.
nice.
So why not have some shots of the product
That's pretty
also
cool.
in another
Yeah.
market? So.
And also like what's different for each one of those 3 tacos, or which one of or those 3 different quesadillas? What's like kind of
Okay.
just echoing kind of what they both were just saying. What's
Yeah.
the story? What are those ones? Are they
Like,
talking
is this
to
one-
each other?
Right. Is one of them spicy? Like, do we
Yeah.
need to show in the photo
Okay.
that it's spicy? Like, do we want to like?
Are they fighting? Are they not friends? Is it like a conflict of quesadillas?
okay.
Like,
Yeah.
is it competitive? What's the
Right.
vibe?
Now, should I change the name to Flower City Tacos? Should I do that?
Now
Is-
that you're in Rochester.
Yeah.
No.
No? Okay. Are you sure?
Yeah. No.
No, no,
No. And you shouldn't get like another Instagram handle that's like
no.
Salt City Tacos
Salt City
Rochester?
Rochester, no.
No?
No.
Okay.
No.
Just do the one. People just want to find the one. They don't want to go jump to multiple ones.
Oh,
They
man.
might get lost.
Make it easy. People,
Yeah.
you know, think about it like a microwave.
Mhm.
You know, if something says on a box, cook it for 2 minutes and 23 seconds, you're gonna hit 222 because it's easier for you just to hit 222 and then start, than to hit 22 and then 3 and
Right.
then start.
Yeah.
So just make it easy for them.
Okay. Well, I'm very happy to say that you all have passed
We did.
that second round. So,
Second round.
oof, that
Nice.
was a tough one.
Okay.
Yeah,
Touch and go for
that
a
was
while.
a tough one. I could see some of you were nervous about that one.
Yeah.
That
I thought maybe we were gonna lose somebody like Squid Game in here or something.
Rochester's a tough city to break into.
yeah.
Yeah.
City of cool, classy people.
Especially
know.
going in there with Salt City Tacos. You know.
Right.
Yeah. I really absolutely love the fact that you mentioned don't start another Instagram account because that is one of the things that I hear the most from people is, you know, we're doing this and we decided to open up this other Instagram account.
What we hear a lot too is like people are like, oh, we have 2, but we don't remember the password or anything for the other one, so we can't even get into the other one, and it's just out there floating into the universe
Forever.
Yeah.
forever. And it's like, okay, cool,
Yeah, that's rough.
yeah.
I had a client once where every time they switched social media managers, they started a new Instagram account.
Oh my
and they
goodness.
and they had by the time I got to them, they had like 4 or 5 different, you know, accounts.
Were they posting on every single one of them?
No, because the previous manager would forget, like they would let that person go, and then nobody knew
Nobody had
the
the
password,
credentials.
so they would start another
Oh,
one.
no.
So it'd be like dot
That's
this.
another thing we do, like working with clients, like anybody out there when you're working with another agency or whoever, you should always have the keys to your castle.
Yeah.
Because if you want to go work with somebody else, there should be no reason why you just can't take everything that you have, just build, and just
Right.
go somewhere else.
Yeah, it's yours.
Yeah.
Yeah. What are some of the more like things that you've heard over the years of you know working, especially in food and beverage, where you've said, "I wish more owners didn't think that or knew this or whatever the case was." Like, is there that thing?
You wish they didn't know that? What do you mean?
Well, you know, like a common mistake.
oh, okay.
Yeah, they
okay.
make.
Oh, heard. Okay, I
You
understand.
know. Yeah, you're definitely in the industry if you just said herd. Dear God. Only people who have been in a kitchen before say herd.
I bought my fiance a sweatshirt that says "Herd" for Christmas. Yes.
I'll text that to some people sometimes, and I feel like a douche whenever I do it. But
No,
you know,
don't feel like a
Yeah.
douche. You feel like you're in good company.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what shouldn't they do?
Like for example, I had
Yeah.
a you know like so we manage social media for restaurants, and one I'll tell you off the air what we charge, which isn't a lot, and so one client said to me, we need to let you go. And I was like, okay, that's fine. And he said, you don't know why? And I said, sure. And he said, well, I just feel like I need to find a hot blonde that has a marketing degree who can be more creative with posts, be here more often, and charge less than you do. I was like, oh, okay. And,
Just vomited in my
Well, yeah,
mouth.
I guess we would wish they don't think that way.
Yeah.
That would be
Yeah.
like one thing.
Yeah. Yowza.
Yeah. Yeah, and I've heard, I get people that come to me and, they're like, well, I don't need you to take pictures because we can just Google and find the pictures on the internet and just screenshot them and you can just post those. It's like,
Yeah.
no, you shouldn't be doing that, so.
Yeah.
That's-
One thing we do, like, clients that come into us for photos for their Instagrams or their marketing or whatever they need photos for, something that just we'll do like just one shoot and just say, okay, well, what do you have coming up? Do you have like a cocktail coming up? Do you have like a cool food item coming up? Are you doing like an event? And then, she'll go and she'll shoot something, either one of those food items or something, and give them a bunch of photos that they can use for their marketing around that one thing.
Yeah.
And then we kind of show, that said client, like how we operate, how that would work, how they get those photos, how they could use those photos across all the different things. And then, a lot of times restaurants will come to us and say, well, maybe we should stick around for like a year and, they're our client for a year and we're shooting every month, we're shooting different stuff. And by the end of the year, they have like a really nice library of photos that they can use for anything. And a lot of the times they're shooting through their own lens, whether it be their iPhone or just their own vision, because it's what they want. But sometimes, even us as a shop, we need to step outside of it ourselves and kind of look at it and say, like, well, what do I really need to have?
Yeah.
And you just want to entice people. People want to go somewhere that just looks enticing.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I will say, knowing just a few of the restaurants that you photograph in town, none of them look the same, which is
Yes.
Thank you for
important,
saying that
right?
to her.
Thank you.
I tell her that
I
every day.
I put a lot of thought because I mean every restaurant is different, and one of my favorite things about food photography and like food in general, the food industry in general, and people that are starting their own restaurant from scratch is like the love that they put into it. I mean, food is love; it's a love language, and like they're also passionate about it, and they all have their own backstories and the reasons why they're there, and it only makes sense to like continue that story into the photos and to like create photos for them that make sense. And like you can look at a photo and be like, this is an Oh My Darling cocktail, and then you like walk into Oh My Darling, whoops, sorry, and you're like, oh yeah, this makes sense.
Right.
Or like like Funkin' Waffles, they have a lot of like bands, and they get a lot of band flyers and that kind of thing. So like I try to keep that photography very minimalist because I know it's going to be sitting next to a band flyer and you don't want it to be distracting.
Yeah.
And so like I mean not everybody's photography should be the same because the restaurant's
Right.
not the same.
Yeah. I think one of the, it's an amateur food photographer, one of the biggest non-compliments that I get is I saw that picture and I knew it was you, and so, which they don't, people are trying to like pay a compliment to me,
Well,
right?
I think that's I get that too though. I think that because I think it is a compliment. I mean, you have a specific point of view and you are your own person with your own set of eyes, and there is going to be some consistency no matter what because you're the consistent part.
Right. Yeah.
And even though my photography is different, like what I do for Funkin' Waffles is different than what I do for 3 Lives in 1911, and I feel like you can still look at I feel like you could still tell that that's me.
Well, I can tell that it's you just because I know that it's like highly professional.
Thank you.
And I know who the other food photographers are in town, or other photographers that would be in the restaurant space are in town. And I'm like, all right, well, this doesn't look like that person, and it doesn't look like that person, and I didn't do it, so it's got to be Jess.
Is this the portion of the podcast where we blow smoke up Jess Montgomery's booty?
Well, I've got a couple more, couple more puffs here, so hold on. I'm not done. So that's how I know, and And I know that they all look different because, Oh My Darling looks different than Funkin' Waffles, looks different than Three Lives. I'm assuming you did Monkey Brains.
I did, yes.
Right? So that looks completely different as well. I mean, even in the same restaurant, it looks different.
Yeah.
And both are very, photographed very well, but
you.
they both look like two different businesses.
Thank you.
Like two different photographers did it. So my question is, when you're going into photography, well, let's just say it's Three Lives versus Monkey Brains, right? Because it's, similar.
Yeah.
Are you going in there saying, all right, here's my, here's the colors that we're using for their brand, here's kind of the vibe, the image, the feel, whatever the case is, and I'm going to stick to that? Are you saying I'm going to change my settings to make sure I'm not photographing at the exact same format that I am for Three Lives as I am with Monkey Brains?
And I honestly don't think about my settings very often outside of like what do I need right now in this moment.
Yeah.
But yeah, whenever I'm going into a restaurant and I'm photographing them for the first time, I'm thinking about the intention of the photos and where they're going to be used and who's going to see them. And like the difference between Three Lives and Monkey Brains is the Monkey Brains is a ghost kitchen.
Yeah.
And so like the Three Lives stuff, I feel like I want to show more of the space when I'm shooting for them. Like I want to show the bar because it's a cool bar and and then Monkey Brains, I don't know, it's kind of a secret,
Right. Yeah.
like so,
Yeah.
so you want it to feel a little like
That makes sense.
mysterious. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. I always feel, I shouldn't say I always feel. Whenever I think that I need a piece of equipment for my camera, I ask myself, what does Jess use? Because you've told me that you don't really, you use very minimalist
Yes.
gear. And I was talking to you one day about a lens that I just bought, and you're like, oh, I just still have the kit lens. And that was like the most defeating thing anyone's ever said to me in my 6 years of doing this. It's like, what? It's like, there's no fucking way.
That's I feel like that's her ray gun when she's talking to other photographers, and that kit lens comment comes out. I'm like,
well, and it recently lost. It recently started to fall apart, so now it has tape on it. Because it's
Okay.
it's my lens from my first camera. I've had a lot of different camera bodies, but it's the same lens from my first camera, and I feel like it's sentimental. And my grandpa bought me that, and I don't know, it's my good luck charm.
Right. That's hilarious. I've got I have whatever. I have stupid expensive gear, and I'm still not a third of the the same talent that you possess. And so that's very humbling. When you first said that, I was like, oh, son of a bitch. It was like, why did I just buy this thing? I have so far to come. And I usually tell other photographers, I'll usually show other people your photos on social media. I'll be like, that's a great picture, right? Yeah, it's amazing. It's like, yeah, that was done on a kit lens. What? So, yeah.
Well, I come from very humble beginnings. I'm fortunate to be here with Stay Fresh, where when I need equipment, I can go to Tommy and be like, hey,
Nice.
we need something. But when I started, I didn't have a lot of resources and funds for equipment. And so it kind of forced me to learn how to do things creatively, creative problem solving, and to be like, well, I don't have this equipment. How can I create the same effect with what I do have?
Yeah.
And it's a really good learning exercise, if nothing else, because
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, that's wild. All right, now I'm done.
So is this part where I can talk about how much I love Jess?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. All right. So actually, I do have one other question.
Okay.
And maybe this is for all of you, but maybe it's just for Jess. How much life does a single photograph have on the internet?
I think that depends on the intention of it, the reason you shot it. If you're shooting it because it's you're in talking about what you're going to be serving at the fair, it has a very short lifespan because the lifespan is for the length of the fair. If it's your standard cocktail that you serve year round, all the time, and it's been in your signature that people recognize, same shot can have a very long lifespan, years.
Okay.
And I think it really, it's all about intentionality.
That's a great answer.
Like a website perspective, because images can live up there for a while.
Yeah, I mean, we sometimes like an image can be chopped up into a lot of different pieces and used in a ton of different ways.
Yeah.
I guess we can sometimes be creative with it,
Yeah.
kind of
'Cause
stretch
it
the
can
life of something.
Cropped, and Tommy can throw a filter over it and change it completely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's well, I'm not going to give my input on that. I'm just going to let your answer sit. All right. Ready for round 3?
Yeah.
This is the final round.
Okay,
If you get this one right, everybody goes home with some beer. So
cool.
it's a big deal. Okay,
All
so
this taco talk and rice
I
balls,
know.
man. Like I'm hungry.
Can we go home with some tacos
Yeah,
and
there's
rice
tacos. You have a
balls
taco
with the
thing, don't you?
sauce?
we did just have we just did our search for the best taco in Syracuse.
And who won again? Yes, I did.
I said Desir Algo.
And that's,
I still haven't tried them.
this is
for
the
the-
Ghost Kitchen.
Yeah.
Dan
and-
at
yeah.
Danny's.
That for the non-Berea category, and then I separate it with Berea since that Berea came to
Yeah.
Syracuse, and Carmelita's pretty much, she's won twice, 2
Oh.
years in a row now.
Anyways, is that North Syracuse?
It's in Cicero.
Yeah, I've ordered from them for the delicious.
Yeah, she does a great job. I mean, it takes her 3 days to make the Berea for her Berea tacos,
Nice.
and the seasonings that she uses. She puts a lot of clove in it, which I really like.
Yeah.
She doesn't dip the tortilla in the consomme and then put it on the flat top like a lot of people do. It's a little dry, but it's still really delicious.
Yeah.
I just really like them. I had a lot of tacos this year.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that.
As you should.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Store-bought tortillas.
So everyone.
Lord Rochester.
Yes. So as I said, what are you talking about?
Okay, cool.
No, I used to live in Central Texas, and
Okay.
Friends that I lived with, their family who they were Texicans, we called them, and they always just had a garbage bag of tortilla dough in their kitchen, just ready to go.
Ready.
And
The way.
and their uncle even owned a barbecue food trailer where no matter what you got, it came in a flour tortilla that he made the second you placed your order. He just had the dough and made it fresh right there. And you got a pound of brisket, it was wrapped in that tortilla and given to you.
So you liked your answer.
Yes.
Yeah.
Who's doing that around here?
The only person that's doing that is Teresa at Carmelita's, but she
Okay.
only makes I don't know how many, but a very limited amount of corn
Gotta
tortillas.
go there early.
And so if you're there in the first 30 minutes, you can get them. But other than that, then she goes to store-bought. But she does make her own tortilla chips, which is good.
Yeah.
If you have a gluten sensitivity, she has 2 kitchens set up right next, 2 sets of equipment. So if it's a gluten-free item, it goes on this flat top or this fryer. If not, it goes on that one. Yeah.
I'm ready. Let's do
Yeah,
it.
I mean, she definitely takes the most care and concern. Panchitos they've stepped up their game. They were really good this year, which last year they were in the top 5. This year they almost took first place.
With the birria.
No, theirs is good.
My fiance loves it.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. With them, so one thing I've learned about Panchitos is you can't go in, it's a build your own. You can't go in there and really trust your own flavor. Well, I go in there and I tell Michael, who's the son of the family that owns it, I just say, whatever you eat, that's what I want on mine.
Yeah.
And then he makes something that's just amazing. This burrito, it's that he makes for me every time. It's ground beef, chicharrones, sour cream cheese, lettuce, pico, salsa verde, cilantro, and a little bit of their hot sauce. And it's just
Great.
amazing.
good.
If I go in there, it's chicken and lettuce, please. So that's always going to be bad.
Yeah.
Right. But to Sir Algo, I gave them first place because theirs was it's pork and salsa verde with a little bit of the cotija cheese, and then Taco, who's the cook over there, puts a little green onion on it, and it was just really good. You know, It's
Taco
just-
is the cook. You
her
said?
name is Taco.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's my friend's name in Spanish class.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, they were good. You know.
Sweet.
Yeah. I'm trying to think who else had it. Madison County Bistro has good, or Distillery has good ones. Roasted veggie tacos are good out there. Everybody had decent tacos this year. It was kind of tough.
That's good.
I mean, there are worse problems to have.
I know. Yeah. So
I'm surprised Funkin' Waffles doesn't have like a taco, like a giant one, like it's a waffle. You know, it's like it's shaped up like a big
A
ass
taco waffle?
Yeah.
A
That would
be
waffle
smart.
A
taco?
waffle taco.
Yeah.
Ooh.
A taco waffle.
yeah.
I'll give you something to waffle taco about.
A waffle taco.
Okay.
You know, like,
The rails are
whatever.
wheels are
The
falling
question that
off.
I always have for people is if you took spaghetti and meatballs and put it in a tortilla, would that be a taco?
Oh, I hate these conversations.
No.
Right.
No.
Is
Yeah.
this round 3? Is
Yeah.
this part of round 3?
But a waffle taco
It's an
is like a
existential
giant-
conversation.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a hot dog, a sandwich. It's like kind of in the same
Is a choco
category.
taco a taco?
Oh, ooh. I guess if you
Kind
would
of.
say yes, then you would have to accept that a
No, you
spaghetti and meatball taco is a taco.
No.
Because I would say a choco taco is not a taco.
Oh, Anthony,
Okay.
we were just about to
know.
be
It's
in the
friends.
And I know it's in the name.
I know it is, but
makes it
I
hard.
could make it the Italian taco.
Our Taco Bell.
So are you? You're,
Yes.
I would say yes, because no matter how shitty the taco
Yeah.
is,
So.
and let me
Taco
tell you,
Bell.
there's some
No idea
restaurants
it's a
in
taco.
Syracuse that are way worse than Taco Bell.
We
Taco
talk
Bell
about that.
Yeah,
crush them.
we-
I talked
that?
about it on the. I usually
Okay.
don't ever say bad things about
Okay.
restaurants, but this one I don't care because I did say bad things about them in the official video I put out.
Which episode number?
It was just, not too long ago.
Okay.
If you go back to like May 5th, it's on. It's on
You'll
YouTube.
find
Cool.
it.
Yeah.
All right. I'll look it up later.
Find out who this.
Yeah.
There's a few of them
Wow.
that
Just want to know where to
Slinger
stay
is.
away from.
like people that every year I go to Instagram and I say who has the best tacos, and then in the stories, and then people make recommendations and I go try them. This year, if I knew they were shitty, I just didn't try
You
them.
should go. You're like, no thanks.
Yeah. Last year I tried all of them. This year I was like, nope, I know they suck. I'm not trying those.
Yeah.
Yeah. There is a place I haven't tried though in Tip Hill. It's called Steve's.
Oh yeah, go there.
Is it
you
good?
do Steve's?
I used to.
Yeah.
Steve's is like they only serve tacos. I think on like Tuesday or Wednesdays,
Okay.
and it's just a bar. Check it out.
I've been
Yeah.
there.
Check it
but
out.
Not for tacos.
I used to live around the corner. I used to go there every week.
Really? Are they good?
At the time, I think it was
Yeah,
great,
right,
but
yeah. Yeah.
I'm not going to speak to how it is now. I don't
Some
know.
people
I don't
said it
know.
was like the best in
I
town.
think
Wow.
people say that.
Some
I don't
people
know.
said it was the worst in town.
I
Think people say that too?
Steve's part two.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a fun time. Go there. I mean,
Yeah.
definitely
I'll
go
have to
there.
check it out. Yeah.
All right.
That was pretty much the only place that people recommended that I didn't try that I haven't been to before. So, yeah. All right. You all ready for round 3?
Yes.
I
Okay.
think as ready as we're ever going to be.
I think round 3 is going to be fun.
Okay.
We've progressed. We've gone from I'm a bank teller making rice balls to I am a established Salt City taco restaurant going into Rochester.
Right.
All right. So in round 3, do I want to be a new business or an existing business? I'm going to be in a. Should I be a new business or an existing
Okay.
business?
Did we make
Time
the
out.
questions?
Time out.
Zach Morris. You should make this into like a little board game or something.
That
Yeah.
This could be a fun board game.
That might be something where I hire you to make this into
You know,
a board
and you have the
game.
cards and you pick them and you're like, all right, everybody, here's the card.
What's-
and then, you know,
Yeah.
Is it
like
life? Is that what it's called? The game of life?
Yeah.
Is
I
that?
haven't played that in a while.
Yeah, but
Game
that's
of
what that
opening a
is,
restaurant.
right?
That is.
It's like not
Yeah.
Monopoly, but it's like
Yeah.
it's like I'm rolling with my homies,
roll-
and this is where I'm going.
Yes.
yeah.
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 I don't think I ever actually played it, but I spun that spinner a lot because it was
Yeah.
a fun spinner.
It was a fun spinner.
I think
Yeah.
I'm combining in my mind Trivial Pursuit, Life, and Monopoly, which
Okay.
I think might be kind of a good jumping
Yeah.
off place for this
Yeah.
game. Because I was thinking about Trivial Pursuit. I wasn't thinking about a wheel.
Oh,
I-
you're thinking about filling the pie piece and answering the question.
I was like,
Okay.
which that's kind of I think ultimately what we're talking about because
Sure.
opening
Yeah.
new restaurants, we're talking about a pie. Well,
Yeah.
metaphorical or actual
Right.
if you're a pie guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then like it's life and Monopoly.
Right.
Come see us. I'll put you on the
Or
schedule.
your pie's the limit.
Yeah.
Which is delicious pies.
There is
Yeah.
just, I mean, it's why I started Eat Local New York, because I met a woman who the bank teller is the exact story that she
Yeah.
had. Friends said she had made the best X, and what I've learned over the last 6 years, so you can insert any food item in there. Made it for weddings and parties and Christmas, and you make the best. You should do it for a living. You know, it's your dream, open a restaurant. And she did make a great X, but that's it. She didn't know what location to pick, rent, food costs, waste, labor, marketing, none of it. And within just under a year, she was bankrupt and out of business.
Yeah.
And I bet she hated that food item.
Right. Yeah. And that's why
That's
I
actually
started.
your ex.
Huh? Yeah. Not
Oh,
my
pew, pew,
thing.
pew.
Yeah. So that's why I started Eat Locals. I met her, and I was like, I want to have a way that I could influence people and say, go try this restaurant to go help them.
Sure.
And go send people to locally owned restaurants. So,
Yeah.
but I've met tons of people, in that time who are like, great. I've worked for people who've hired me from the beginning. So obviously I had the best marketing that ever existed for a restaurant. But, and after a couple months, they had no customers, no idea, their staff were gone, their food costs were way high. The rent was crazy expensive, and each week they were struggling to pay their bills. So even with good marketing, they still didn't make it. So it is a full, well-rounded thing. It's not just
Sure.
one.
Many moving pieces.
Yeah.
I mean, you ever watch Restaurant Impossible?
Oh yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
yeah.
And they do it in 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I realize not many people. Hopefully, this exists. Throughout all of eternity. That in paradise somebody can find these podcasts and say, "This is how I open a restaurant."
That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah. All right, ready for round 3?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So should I be an existing restaurant or a new restaurant?
Maybe you're an existing restaurant that's taking on a new.
New. Okay. New concept.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, and we're back.
Curveballs out there.
Oh. Classic Jessica.
All right. All right. So I'm opening a new restaurant, but I am a restaurateur. Okay. I have existing restaurants.
Sure.
I know what I'm doing. But
I
in
think I've
terms,
been to your taco restaurant and your rice ball restaurant. I
Yeah,
think
you
I've been
have.
to those.
Yeah.
It was great.
have you ever been to our Salt City Tacos out in Rochester?
No, I haven't been out
Oh,
there
you
yet.
should try that location. It's
Okay.
pretty good.
Yeah, sweet.
We do garbage plate tacos.
Oh.
Now, is that a taco?
There's ground beef in it, so and cheese. All right, so I have a new concept I'm launching, and I won't tell you what it is because I don't know yet. But I'm launching a new concept, and it's a smash burger restaurant.
Okay.
I have a budget of $10,000 to spend on my full brand developed logo, website, photography, colors, the whole marketing world. I've got a budget of $10,000. I need you to tell me how much time and percentages of that budget need to go where.
Go to where and what do you mean?
How much of that, what percentage of that should I spend on the logo? Should I spend on the website? Should I spend on the packaging? Should I spend on the photography?
Yeah, I mean, well, if you came to us with $10,000, I'd be giving you back a proposal that outlines everything that we would be doing in that 10,000. Let's say you only got 10,000, but I really want to use 99,999. So whatever.
Yeah.
We'd outline it all and show what you're getting for photography inside of that.
Okay.
What you're getting for your branding inside of that. What
Yeah.
you're getting, what kind of website you could get inside of that.
Okay.
Where the project management falls into that. We give clients that come in with those types of questions complete line itemed proposals that just kind of show where that money is going and where we kind of think it should go.
Okay.
Because if you don't have anything yet, you are starting from scratch. So
Right.
yeah,
Yeah. I am starting from scratch. I have nothing picked out. The
Yeah.
only thing I kind of have is a name,
yeah.
and that is Anthony Smash Burgers.
Should we close that door?
Yeah. I don't know how much of a difference it's gonna make, but yeah, or what's going on out there. I usually try to do podcast after 5, but my noisy neighbor upstairs moved out.
Oh, good.
We
Yeah.
used to have one of those.
Really? I had a guy, I don't know what he did, but he'd always drop stuff, and he'd be like, son of a bitch, like
You heard that part.
5 times a day.
Wow.
I'm
That's
not
at
kidding.
least kind of like I bet it's funny the first time.
Yeah.
Like
It was funny the
You just
first
hear
time.
shit rolling
Yeah.
around.
Yeah, it
I don't know
sounds
what
like
it is,
a
but
bowling
it's
going on
rolling.
upstairs.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If there's a masseuse.
It was it was
Oh,
a
really?
masseuse. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what I have now, and she has a dog, and so every
Oh,
once
it's
in a
Missy?
while.
Is Missy above from you?
Is that who it is?
Oh, that's who. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's Missy. Yeah.
You
She's
hear,
she's
you hear
pretty
stuff
cool.
rolling?
that was
I don't
our
hear stuff
opening.
rolling. Oh,
Yeah.
really?
Yeah.
Ah.
Yeah.
I don't hear stuff. Well, sometimes you can tell, like, when they're like a toy gets tossed and the dog's like, you can hear the dog's nails on the floor.
Yeah, she also. I think she does like a kettlebell thing where
Okay.
this isn't on the podcast, right? Yeah.
Well, it probably will be, but I don't think. I
love you, Missy.
yeah.
You know how I feel about you.
I will say she's like 100 times quieter than the previous guy.
You know what you just did?
What?
You just cursed yourself so bad.
Why?
Because she's just gonna get loud now. That's the way
Oh,
the
yeah.
universe
She's
works.
gonna-
You're talking about nobody listening to the
I'm just
podcast, but yeah,
kidding.
maybe that might happen too.
No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, the last guy, I don't know what he did. It was like metalwork or woodwork, but he always dropped something. He'd be like, son of a bitch. And then on weekends, I'd hear him upstairs singing in like old 80s ballads.
Amazing.
Oh, I love that.
But he always left at 5 every day, so I used to always
Yeah.
just do podcast after
I don't
5.
have any neighbors over by us.
Really?
Yeah, there's a storage next to us for clothes and
Yeah.
The boiler room on the other side.
boiler
Yeah.
room on the other side, which, sometimes the boilers make noise, but
I thought
Yeah.
you said the boy in the room, and I was like, who is that?
I love being here, especially being in this bigger one, this bigger studio, because I was next door, which was half the size.
is this different from where I was?
No, I just changed the whole set around. Yeah. I kind of like this set better.
Yeah,
I like having
Yeah.
a table.
yeah.
But I do want like a warehouse, and I want to like build out like a podcast set and like have a commercial kitchen and do cooking videos
Yeah,
and stuff.
you should definitely do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just got to win the lottery. Or,
Yeah.
You should talk to these guys out, that should connect you to them. They have a place called Shared Universe, which is out in New Jersey.
Okay.
They have a couple different locations, which are podcast studios where
Oh, nice.
people can record there, but then they're also doing other stuff there too.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've had a few people, I've done a couple projects here where they're like, can we record this video, this podcast in your studio? Because usually I go to them to do the podcast. I'm like, sure, you've been here before, right? Like, it's going to be challenging. So for one of them, I literally had everything shoved into this corner, and then we were set up
Oh,
over
yeah.
there. So that was fun. But yeah. All right, so...
All right, so what should we do with that money?
yeah, so basically, like, what should I, if I've got $10,000 and that's my marketing budget, and let's just say that I went to the Small Business Administration and, the loan that I got, this is the money that's earmarked for marketing and branding. So how much should I expect to spend on a logo and a website and the photography and the packaging design? And then I need you to show up one day with your Sharpie and do something on the wall too. So factor that in there. So.
Oh yeah. Oh man. Sharpie on the wall. Well, I don't know. I don't want to like divulge all my pricing.
Well,
I think for logos, if you're trying to get a good logo,
yeah,
you're looking to spend anywhere between 800 and 2 G's for a
Okay.
good logo.
yeah,
Depending what you're getting for it. With that logo for a restaurant, like Justin said earlier, where's that logo going to go?
yeah,
And then, when we do brand packages, people are getting logos broken apart in a bunch of different ways because you're gonna need them in a bunch of different ways.
yeah,
And like I said earlier, like you want the keys to the castle, so if you don't want to come back to us again, I'll make sure you have everything that you need.
yeah,
So you're gonna need that logo as like the 3-1 fried. You have that on your shirt. You're gonna need that just as the text.
Yeah.
You have the mark behind it. You have the stars. All those things work together to create the big one. And then how do those things look as they're exploded?
yeah.
So
Is if I want to be don't want to say one shot and done, but I want to come across as like a massive, like out of the gate, I am an established brand.
yeah.
Is 10,000 enough?
I think we work. You know, we'll try to work with anybody. You know, depending on what they have. And you know, we'll kind of if 10,000 is what, but that's our shop. You know, if 10,000 is what you have, we'll try to figure out what we can give you for 10,000.
Yeah.
You know, and it might not be what somebody's getting for like 20,000.
Mhm.
You know, but it's 10,000. So let's figure out what you can get for 10,000. You know.
Yeah.
Depending on what your menu is, you know, Chris might build a one-page site versus like a couple-page site. You
Mhm.
know, with Jess's photography, you might get 10 photos instead of like 30 photos. Or,
Yeah.
You know, with the logo, you might get, you know, a logo that has a lot of different moving pieces to it. You might just get a logo.
Yeah.
You know, it all
Yeah.
depends.
Okay. Well, everybody, congratulations. You just passed the third round.
wow.
Give yourselves a round of applause.
That one was easy.
Good job.
Yay.
You're all going home with a can of beer tonight. So.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Is
And
it?
we just drank it.
And just drank it, yeah. Is there one closing piece of advice or remark that you would give to a person wanting to start their own business, considering their brand identity or marketing strategy? Besides call you?
Well, I mean,
I know it's way more than that.
yeah, but I mean, like, whoever is doing whatever, like, if you're starting a restaurant or if you're starting a food truck, the person starting that wants to put themselves into it, and that's like why we said earlier, you know, what's the intent of all this
Yeah.
stuff? Who is the person building this stuff? Because a lot of the times, clients they're putting themselves into it. They want the stuff to look like how they want it to look. They're not considering that bigger audience.
Yeah.
You know? So what we try to do is we try to take them and what they love. You know, I'll ask them some random fucking questions in the middle of a breakdown of what they're trying to do, just because I'm trying, like, you know, what kind of bands they're into.
Yeah.
It's just gonna tell them what kind of person they are.
Hmm.
You know, if they're into Nickelback, you know, we're just not gonna work with them. So, you know, we try to figure out that for them. And if you're going to like a little crew like us, if you're going to like a 2-man shop like the dudes down the hall, if you're going to just like your nephew, you know, you want to make sure like you trust that person to take what you have, like, what you want, and put it into that. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, it's you that makes it special. Because like we said, like there's a million different taco trucks out there, you know, and you gotta like make it your own.
Mm-hmm.
And kind of building on that, we find like we're a bunch of weirdo nerds here. I think that you are too. And we find that oftentimes, like the things that we're really into, it's very easy for us to become into something else that is presented to us in a cool way. And when we see you as the coolest new, like, what are you at your taco shop right now? Or no, yeah, whatever that
Yes.
is that you see and you're doing it, that's you. You're an authentic you. We, as other cool people, will be like, oh, I see myself in that. I see my intentionality in that. And whether it means that I want to be your homie or I just want to buy your taco, you've done your job.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're letting people in on a secret, which is you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and everybody wants to be letting out a secret. Everybody wants to be, know somebody. Everybody wants to be able to name drop or tell somebody about something cool or something, some like little factoid about whatever. Like, look at this guy used to, cook omelets for the band Kiss, like on their farewell tour in 2001.
Yeah.
Or whatever. So there's always something of it that should be put into it
Okay.
from you.
All right, cool. Well, thank you all so much for coming in. And if anybody listening, watching, if you're wanting to open up Rice Balls, you can take that name. But with the Z, it is mine. And so is that domain name. Don't go by that. That one's mine. And the .org/cousins.com. And same thing with the spaghetti and meatball taco. Salt City Spaghetti Meatball Tacos open up in Rochester. That's one's mine too. All right. Well, I'm going to put the show in the show notes. I'll put contact and all that kind of stuff. So if you're listening, watching, you want to get in contact with Stay Fresh, work with them, you'll be able to get in contact with them and do that.
Yeah, if you just type in Stay Fresh Syracuse, you'll find us.
Sweet. Thanks, everybody.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thanks for having us, dude.
Ciao.